Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to episode 13. Thankfully, not ominously on a day, which it is 13, um, of A Knight's Ransom, my very special homebrew world. When we last left this party, they were encountering a caravan full of mystical items and useful gear, run by what looked like a family. A collection of brothers and a sister, the sister being the youngest. And the party continued on to Egas, and when they arrived, the knight lieutenant was standing there waiting for them outside of the gates, with her arms crossed, short sword on one hip, and a dagger in the other. Of course, we'd like to thank our sponsors before we begin. That's D&D Beyond, that's D, the letter N, dbeyond.com. No, I think that's it. I think that's all we got sponsors at the moment. And we are unfortunately down 2 players tonight, but that is okay. So, without further ado, party, as you're approaching, in front of you stands a dragonborn. Hold on, let me double check. I'm pretty sure she's dragonborn. Yes.
Golden.
Yes. Adorned in golden scales. On her, did I give you the color of her cape? Yes or no?
No.
No.
Nope.
Did I list the color of her cape in some of my GM notes?
Neon pink.
Absolutely not.
Mauve.
Ah, chartreuse.
Jesus.
Berry.
No. Oh my god, stop.
Other weird colors.
Sparkles.
Salmon.
No. She is in a shade of indigo. Moment. Not sure if she's on my world map at the moment. She should be. She is. I'm
Is
just
it?
going
I don't-
to. You guys can see what she looks like.
How far out are we from like weird shits?
You're about 120 feet away from her at this point.
Well, I'm going to march up.
It seems for acceptance. Follow suit.
What brings you travelers to Egas?
Greetings, Dame. I am Monric Black Knight, and I have been promised as a squire to Lord Commander Danik. These are my traveling companions who have also been attested to various persons here and in Ys for various things.
Well, you'll find Knight Commander Danik next town over. However, before you continue on, normally I would send my own men out to deal with this. However, the two that you see their forces surrounding my city, Sir Raymond and Sir Alistair, have sung your praises as tales of your prowess, shall we say, has made it here by their squire. Normally, I would send my men out to deal with this. Technically, it's an in-house matter. However, I can't spare the manpower. What with us preparing to march.
Where do you march?
Onward. Sorry.
You're not wrong, and that was exactly the answer she was gonna give.
Awesome.
Dara, I'm gonna need you to get out of my brain space, okay? that needs to just stop that. I can't guarantee you're gonna like what you find if you're in there.
There's a lot of America's good old
Well, I
cat.
was just going to think of soldiers, so.
What
Yes.
do you need done?
Thank you for getting us back on track. Well, there are two things. A group of bandits has been terrorizing the town and have successfully made off with various and numerous supplies. In addition, it's our blacksmith, Mr. Lee, his niece. Hold on, I had this written down. His
Mr. Who?
niece, Mr. Lee, Lea. His niece has been reported missing, and she's not one to just run off willy-nilly. She is a dutiful young lady.
You think it's related to these bandits?
We think so, yes. And if it's not the bandits, well, it's the other thing, and I'm not sure which one is worse.
And what's the other thing?
Well, there have been reports from my men who have been... We keep a temple here to Saint Misano. He was a warrior of great renown, and many of our soldiers consider him of a godly figure to which they worship. Because, to be frank, sometimes Ares is just a little bit much. However, this temple has been... They're saying it's overrun, but they can't give a concise description as to what. Some of them say that it is a vampiric creature of some sort. Others say that it is flying creatures that have too many limbs, not enough eyes, and masses of muscle in places where they shouldn't have muscle.
Interesting. Do you have a preference which you would have us investigate first?
They both need to be handled. Though I will say, if the young lady, as I said, she could be at either, and I can't tell you which one.
What's her name?
Please hold, I need to go to another section for that. Hang on. Her name is Nashiram. I will spell that for you because I know you're gonna ask.
Yep.
Such excitement.
Hey, I got it right.
Her name is Nashiram Lee.
Oh,
Of
very
course.
well.
Go ahead, Monarch. Sorry.
I was just going to ask if you had any further information on either of these situations. Does anyone seen where the bandits head off to, or know anything about their operations at all?
We tracked them south, but lost them in the woods. The woods are fairly dense.
And where have they targeted in town?
They've been mostly targeting our two. We call them general stores, but it's our two merchants. One deals specifically for the knights, squires, and soldiers in the town, so he's currently a bit overworked, as I'm sure you can understand. And then the other one, which caters more specifically to our farmers and guild masters and your general populace, as it were.
And this temple, any investigation been done on it at all?
Well, we've done some. However, the unfortunate part is many of those who have done the investigating are now suffering from night terrors and the like. Perhaps you can make more sense of them. They're of, unfortunately, no use to me the way they are.
I don't want to go near
You-
no nightmares again.
My dear, with
It'll
what's
be okay.
coming, you may not have a choice.
Through this conversation, Orion has been sketching nightmares in the
Okay.
It's going to be okay, Fred. We've got Orion here with us, and he seems to be very good at dealing with these kinds of mental traumas.
Okay.
If Orion had eyes, the shifty eyes would just
In the meantime, we probably should pick a target and investigate.
Maybe we should go talk to the blacksmith and get a description of Nashira.
That would be a good idea.
we could also discuss or try and get information from the two storekeepers.
Mm-hmm.
And we probably should talk to some of the men that are having night terrors just to get an idea of what they might have seen.
Oh, yeah, yeah. I wonder if they're all having the same dream. Wouldn't that be wild?
It would be worth asking. All right.
Alright,
Can you point us towards the, well, various locations? The
Of course.
shopkeepers, the blacksmith, and your men that are suffering from these night terrors.
Head right down the main road. Take you right through town. You will find the first general store 6 roads up and on your left. The Knight's general store is a further 6 streets on your right. The blacksmith is across from that one, and those men are currently being housed in the barracks medical bay. Which
Hmm.
it shouldn't be hard to find the barracks. The walls are taller than the houses.
Very good. Well, we won't detain you any longer unless anybody else has any other questions.
Are the other two lieutenants here?
They are. They're currently dealing with their men camped out around my city. Why do you ask?
Just we had incomplete conversations with them before they left. We finished the test they asked of us to our job.
Okay. They'll be in the barracks later tonight if you wish to come by then. What is it that you're doing there?
Notes. Do I need to roll something for my sketch?
Performance check, please.
Oh.
I'll let you have it at advantage because this is something that you do on a semi-regular basis because that's how you are maintaining your knowledge.
Bless you for that advantage because that was really without.
Found his hard drive.
Now I'm
So-
just disappointed.
Before advantage, that was a 2 plus 2. After advantage, that was a 15 plus 2, so 17.
Okay,
So-
glad I could help.
Orion will just kind of like take a look.
Why are you drawing me? Not that I'm not flattered, but I'm confused.
Question for D.
I have an answer.
What does Orion know of
Of dragons, quite a bit. Of
Okay.
Dragonborn, not quite so much.
No, I specifically asked Dragon Birds because they would be aware of gold dragons and what that means. So the background of the picture kind of has like a bright aura to it.
Oh, for your information, when you were originally around, the metallic dragons were significantly more common than the regular colored dragons. So the chromatic ones, your gold, silver, etc., they were significantly more common than a red, white, etc.
Sure. I was more going for like knowing
I
the
know.
general alignment for gold. So like it has like a bit of an aura around it, kind of light rays type thing.
I just wanted to
Yeah,
let you know that this is something you know.
this is good information for Orion's brain to remember.
I'm not coming up with shit on the spot. I don't know what you're talking about.
That's fine.
Even though that's exactly what I'm doing because that's 90% of being a DM.
I take notes to add to my knowledge. Sometimes those notes are people. Sometimes those notes are things. Sometimes they're creatures.
Yep.
History is not well documented, so I document mine.
Fair enough. And you find me a worthy subject to document then.
Flips back a few pages to the other knight lieutenants that Orion has come in contact with. The lieutenants seem to be important people in these times. It's probably good to remember them.
Very smart.
Always good to remember them.
what else, or who else have you encountered in your journey?
Oh boy, is that the wrong person to ask?
No, it's not. That was exactly who I wanted to ask that question of. I know what
Um,
I'm doing.
So
How long
Orion,
do you have?
yes.
Well, technically, we have 3 hours to fill because I'm not sending you guys off on a mission, and there's no reason to end the session in an hour. So,
Oh, all right. So today on Orion's recap,
Today on Orion tells a story.
don't
Oh
worry,
boy.
I have something else planned. I'm just, you know, this is this is RP and plot stuff. So,
Okay. Where do you want me to start?
well, I'll start with the beginning of your journey. This one specifically. I feel like I need to be specific, or else I might be standing here for 3 days, and we don't really have 3 days for me to stand here and listen to you talk.
Oh boy, I'm glad you clarified because that would have gotten really
You're
interesting for everybody.
so very smart.
They don't call me the gladiator for nothing.
Well, you see, the dawn of time.
She
Oh,
is.
well, it all started at the festival,
At a tournament.
the proving of strength in the fights. That is how some of us came in contact with the Knight Lieutenants. From there, I flipped some pages through my brain. What was the name of the Sphinx?
oh damn.
Hang on. Calculating.
Yep, me too.
Started with an A.
Elida.
Elida.
Yes.
Elida.
Yes.
Mm.
We stumbled across an old friend in the woods and holds up a sketch of Elida. We were encountering some weird magics affecting the land, and they gave us sanctuary until it passed. And then we'll flip to the tea.
Hold on. Did you say that you encountered issues traveling?
Not that I'm aware of, but Elida's.
Interesting.
It felt like we had been traveling, traversing the same amount of land for a period of time, and then we stumbled across.
And it just seemed that you just kept getting lost, right? And
I'm
turned around and going in the wrong direction.
I'm bad in the woods, so I took her with.
This
I'm
happened
not
about
much better.
2 weeks ago, correct?
Yeah.
Ryan would know. Otter does
Yes.
not.
It happened about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
I remember that day. A lot of our soldiers got misplaced in the woods. So it was more widespread than us. Interesting. Continue. I apologize. Didn't mean to interrupt.
Flips to page about Yanti. These were particularly interesting. I've never seen these before. And Orion's going to go into a slight tangent of, like, extrapolating information based on what he learned and what their physical appearance is. But somehow they were manifesting nightmares.
Yes,
Really bad night.
their shaman tend to do that, and the more particularly evil of them take perverse pleasures in it. I feel like perhaps they're trying to be hags. It's strange.
Anti-hags. That'd be something.
I hope to never encounter a Yanti hag. That sounds
Frightening.
terrifying.
My brain both goes, that's terrifying, but also that's amazing at this point.
Right?
Okay.
Oh, you should be aware that not all of these Yanti are going to be of the evil persuasion.
Tell me more. Flips back to the page of the Yankees that ready to break down shit.
When you, after you've completed what you need to do for me, I'm assuming you're heading on to Ys afterwards, yes?
Of course.
Something about delivering this one as a squire, and she points at Monric.
I believe we're
Yes.
stopping at the basin along the way, but Ys, I think, is our next destination for the town.
When you get there, you're going to want to stop in and see the Knight's general store proprietor in Ys. And I will not tell you more than that.
Okay.
She'll be able to give you more information.
On the Yanti?
Yes.
Big letters at the bottom of the onto a couple pages, lizard folk. These folk were somehow corrupting the farm. And when we cleared them out, it seemed to disappear, completely glossing over the weird item in that. Not mentioning that.
Okay. I'm assuming you said completely glossing over the cornucopia that you picked up because everything froze and I lost, like, that little bit.
Yes,
So.
I
Perfect.
maneuver my way around so that the lizard folk seem to be the ones causing it, and I don't touch upon the cornucopia.
Okay, perfect. I want you to give me a deception check, please. To see how well you managed to do that. Remembering that this woman is not dumb.
She is not dumb, and I suck at charisma. That is a 17.
You're good, you managed to do it successfully.
Okay. And from there,
Wasn't
believe
there
there-
something that we picked up?
I was just debating on doing the same.
Oh my gosh, you Alright, I have to ask very seriously. Do you ask that question? Like, are you saying this to be
Sure.
funny, or are you saying this because you are legitimately asking that question?
You're gonna look at Monric and be like, "Yeah, it was some little toy thing, right? Decorative."
I thought the lizard folks had something. I don't remember what it was.
Nightmares, remember? That was really scary.
Yeah.
It
Actually,
was really
no,
scary.
I didn't have the nightmares.
Yugen, yes, those nightmares. Wait, no, I didn't have nightmares.
Not
I
that
slept-
night, anyway.
I
The
slept
squirrels
through
left
the-
me alone.
Like asshole.
Orion will sigh. And we did find an interesting puzzle box in that farm.
Oh, that's right. That's what it was.
yeah.
And just kind of pulls the puzzle box out. Right? Weird puzzle box.
Fair enough. Continue. So, the lizard folk.
Next. Yeah, that was really all that went on there. Next were kobolds. And a weird, large big, chunky fellow.
They were tasty.
Kobolds.
We ate kobolds?
Isn't that what Kitchen cooked up?
Not kobolds.
Knowles.
Knowles.
Oh, I don't think we
Sorry.
ate the
You say,
Knowles.
wait a minute.
I
Nope.
was like, I have
We haven't done
never
kobolds.
set you guys against
Oh.
kobolds.
Orion,
Knowles.
they're
Thank
not called
goodness.
that. They're called Knowles.
Knowles. Scribbles out the
Sorry.
name on paper. Knowles. That's my bad. I missed that.
She pauses for a second, like, kobold, and they're not even close. But she doesn't say anything. She just lets you keep going.
Common time. So there was a cave of gnolls and a big chunky fella, ogre?
No, that's the
No.
goblins, not the kobolds.
Shit.
You did take on a bunch of gnolls, but it's goblins, not kobolds.
Okay.
Just for your note.
My brain is mush that far in the past, so cool.
No,
Cave,
that's okay. It was goblins. It was cave of goblins.
We dealt
Yeah, the
with
goblins had the ogre.
gnolls, and there really wasn't a whole lot to say there. They thought they could.
The gnomes had the
Fear
manticore,
with-
didn't they?
Those were the half-orcs from
Oh, that's right.
on the way here. The gnolls were trying to affect trade routes, and they are no longer going to be an issue.
This is good to hear.
Then there was a cave of goblins, who had the big ogre. Also should no longer be an issue. There isn't even a search for the goblins.
Okay.
And then on the way goes to picture of Matt. We were
Is that-
assailed on the road here by a group of half-orcs seeming in cahoots with this creature. I believe it's known as a Matt.
Yes, I didn't realize that they had strayed so far. Damn it. Okay, I will send a letter to the capital. They'll have to be on the lookout. Thank you.
Is this a bigger issue?
Nothing that they can't handle. They have a specialized group that deals specifically with hunting down manticores. Manticores are not the kindest of creatures, so
This manticore was associated with some orcs. I don't know if that's common or not.
it is actually fairly common. I still wouldn't worry
Okay.
about it. The capital will handle it. That's not. It will be below your pay grade, as it were.
What is a pay grade?
She then begins explaining what a pay grade is, and I'm not doing that.
No, but that is 100% character. Orion is very confused by this.
Yep, no, she explains what a pay grade is. Before you keep going, I need to run and grab a drink and use the bathroom. I apologize. Everybody, please take care of yourselves. If you need to get a drink, go do so. We'll be back in like 5-10 minutes. I'm so sorry, Otter. I normally
Okay.
try and give you a warning for this, but
No worries.
this kind of
We'll be
stuck
back
up on
in
me, so
just
we'll be
a
back.
minute.
thank you so much for sticking around, guys. I apologize about that, but please always remember to take care of yourselves, and when you need to get up and use the bathroom, do so. You had just told them about the Manticore. She told you she was going to write to the capital and get that handled.
Also, the lizard.
Mm-hmm.
I don't speak the language, but I did pick up one word that they were yelling at me. They were screaming for Gaia, which, if you're not familiar, is one of the tanks.
Yes, it's
The one
it's
who
one of
made
the
the basin.
yes. She is in general pretty well revered and liked, despite being a Titan.
I mean, of the Titans, she was one of the better ones.
Orion thinks he knows the Titans.
Interesting. How does one know a Titan?
Well, when one is delusional, one knows Titans.
That's rude.
Don't be mean. Orion knows so much information.
I know. I'm just having fun.
I mean,
I
I'm
still don't
here
know him.
for it.
Still don't know how he knows Titans, but
I'm
he
sure
certainly
you'll
knows a
figure
lot
it
about
out.
I mean, I don't believe I've said I directly know Titans, only that I know of them.
Yeah, but you know a lot.
Like I said, people are kind of ratings.
Well, I'm glad you're changing that. People need to know their history.
True story.
Now, should we set about finding out more about these tasks we've been assigned? We've got locations.
I feel like we've taken up enough of your time.
It was delightful to talk with you.
Whoops.
Always glad to help. And let's head for the first shopkeep.
The town under her protection. Sorry, Otter, what?
Otter doesn't remember who in the party brought it up when we were talking last night, Lieutenants. But Otter remembers someone bringing up compensation for doing tasks. And just kind of pipes up as we walk away. Is there some kind of, I think the term was compensation for taking care of these tasks?
I suppose.
I was
Yes.
told to make sure to write it down so we know for later.
Yes.
Yeah, Val always likes to know that. He's off busy with Indigo.
Yes, I could see that happening. Let me put it to you this way. If you successfully complete them, we'll discuss it then. It's mostly because I have a feeling something is going to be offered to you, but I am not at liberty to do so. But we have stuff here that would make your journey and your lives much easier. I need to be in contact with the person who would be making you the offer.
Sure.
Sounds like a plan.
for a quick clarification, in case, like what happened in Thropes, you and your force are gone when we return.
Oh,
Would
we
you
won't
mind?
be. We aren't
In-
leaving without you.
What?
You're traveling to Yeast. It makes no sense for you not to travel with us. It offers you the greatest protection to travel with us. And I highly doubt it will take you more than a week to
I
complete
would.
these.
It had better not take us more than a week.
Puts in notes. We will discuss compensation upon completion. Can you sign here, please?
She reaches out with your pen or whatever you're using to write with and scrawls in what is arguably the most elegant and perfect cursive you have ever seen. Dame Yesme, the Gladiator.
That seems practiced.
I don't know
Well,
what you're talking
she's a
about.
gladiator.
Well,
She
thank you.
totally doesn't say, sign fan cards, whatever they're sent into her. I don't know what you're talking about.
Orion takes that to heart and just starts sending random letters to all of the knight lieutenants for just no reason.
Just because he can.
But thank you, and if we need further information, will we find you here?
You will find me in the barracks, more likely than not. I heard of your approach and decided to greet you outside of my gates.
That was okay. Cool. Where to first?
Well, we
Well,
might as well just go to the first one. It's the first
the
six
first
rows up on the
shopkeep
left
is
is the
on
first
the way.
shopkeep. Or we could split up if you'd like.
Well, Val and Kitchen are already out and about. There's no need to split us up further.
Kitchen is, cooking for the army, actually. Who would have guessed that Kitchen was immediately gonna go cook for the army?
I thought he didn't feel like cooking.
I asked Cody and he was like, yes, let's do that. That sounds like a great idea.
Zara brings it up just because that's their not here message.
Oh.
Didn't feel like cooking.
No, he didn't feel like cooking for you.
I mean,
Say
he
to
doesn't
say.
need to cook.
Yes, I know. Technically,
Kitchen,
he doesn't need to cook for himself either.
Kitchen out there
No, I'm
winning
pretty
the
sure
hearts.
that one's a need.
Kitchen out there winning the hearts of the army for us. Just
Yep.
through their
Endearing your group.
stomachs.
And Calix has slipped off, but you're pretty sure Calix is probably just gonna go find illicit information that you may not get through proper channels.
Oh, okay.
Fire springs up in part of town.
We hope not.
Okay, well, I guess to the first store then. That was the not lieutenant's and knight store, correct?
That would be correct.
Correct.
It is the quite literal general store.
I wonder how he got his name.
Haha. Common is a weird,
Common is a weird soup.
Yep. Yes, it is. Just like English.
No, English is 8 languages each.
Well, it's drunk.
Okay, to the store.
Likes to mug other languages in the back alley, rifle their pockets for spare vocabulary.
Oh my god, yes. Oh my god. Alright. it's not a sprawling store, but it is packed. Like there's not enough space between the aisles of stuff for you to walk like two abreast. You cannot walk side by side. You can only walk one behind each other. And there is a counter towards the back, and you see 3 or 4 civilians. They look to be farmers of some kind, although one of them also seems to be just an apprentice to a guild master. But he is quickly heading out the back way, as if he is headed to collect a large order for his guild. So you're not sure what guild he belongs to. Standing behind the counter is a... Hold, please. Hold.
Sure. While you're looking, does this other guild person have some kind of emblem of their guild on them?
If they did, they were gone too fast for you to see it.
Just curious.
Otter, because
Yes.
you are so much older than everybody else in the party. Elf that stands before you seems to have the faintest shimmer around her.
Does this mean something to me in my old age?
You knew way back when that if somebody shimmered all over, it was most likely because they were shrouded in a type of illusion. But then again, maybe it's just her race and she just naturally glows like that. You're not sure because you have never encountered this yet since you woke back up.
Gnomes in a trench coat, definitely.
Just a bunch of kobolds dressed up as a elf.
Oh, also, there was a sign out front. And it is written in like rotating languages. So it is clearly magical of some kind, and it just rotates through the same message in different languages until it lands on one that you guys would all understand, which is, do not cast detect magic in this store, you will go blind.
Interesting.
Well, now I'm
But Orion, you remember casting detect magic and nearly going blind with the clockwork caravan.
yes. I know.
So they are warning
Otter
you
is
that
curious.
yeah. So it is basically just a warning that there is plenty of magical things here that would likely blind you if you cast a detect magic.
Sure. Switching to Elvish. Greetings.
Hold on, please hold. I don't remember if she actually speaks that language or not.
This is Orion poking at the shimmery thing.
I just don't remember if that was a language I gave her or not. Hold on.
Okay.
I gotta pull up her sheet. It's not. She looks at you with a little bit of a tilt to her head. Hang on. I need to quickly message Steve.
Uh-oh.
She will introduce herself in just a hot second. But I don't remember if her husband spoke Elvish or not. And then I realize I can just click on the Foundations of Adelar campaign and I should be able to access Gillet. And check for myself. No, nobody in this store actually speaks Elvish.
lovely, but it is an elf shimmering standing in front of us.
Yes. The elf tilts her head. Do you speak Sylvan, Orion?
Negative. I speak Elvish, Primordial, Infernal.
Okay. Oh God.
But if you give me 10 minutes, I can understand some.
No, it's okay. She speaks in common, and her voice is soft. However, it is accompanied by one of the worst stutters you have ever heard. Almost as if she can't formulate the thoughts that she actually wants to say. And I'm not gonna do it because it takes a lot for me to remember to actually say it. So, but just understand that she is stuttering quite a bit.
Imagination.
But she states in common, I apologize. My husband and I, neither of us speak Elvish. We know enough to recognize it, but not enough to speak it.
But you're an elf.
Yes, but I was not raised among elves.
Well, now that's a story. But that's not why we're here.
So blunt. I love it. Oh? How may we assist you? I apologize. My name is Callista, and this is my my husband Gillet.
Greetings,
For
Callista
anybody,
and Gillet.
which
What
for
does
anybody
Gillet
watching
look like?
was Steve and Mai's characters from Foundations of Adelar, run by Heath. It was one of our very first Monday campaigns. Gillet is a half orc who stands at a very solid 6'2". And if I remember correctly, he
Yay.
towers over her. It's been a very long time since we've touched these characters. Yeah, he is pretty tall over her. And you watch as she plucks a ring off of her finger and starts to play with it. And you watch as it looks like it falls apart. And you realize that all four rings actually are connected. And you watch as she doesn't even look at them. She just puts it back together without having to look at it. And then she breaks it apart again. And you're realizing this is how she is keeping herself calm to be able to talk to new people she doesn't know.
Please excuse us. I am Monric Black Knight. These are my companions. We were sent to investigate the recent thefts from your store.
Oh.
You've
Oh.
had bandit problems?
Yes. Well, oh. Um uh just one moment. And she disappears into the back. Gillet leans back against the back wall regarding you. So you're here to assist then with our town's problems.
Yes.
Didn't
Good.
seem that way.
Good. it's been a little bit difficult letting the kids go out and play in the fields like we used to, considering the fact that we can't be sure that they're going to be safe.
Has anything happened to the kids?
Well, with the Lee girl gone missing, we just don't want to chance it.
We've been asked to try to find her. Do you have
Well,
information that you could share with us about what happened with her?
Not with her. We're not even sure where she's gone. Just know that she's not here.
Oh,
You hear
Oh,
rustling in the back, and a short curse in Infernal.
That sounded dark.
what'd she say?
Something along the lines of son of a bitch and motherfucker. Without the stutter.
Have to pick up Infernal someday. Probably really good fuckers.
Yeah.
Ryan will look at you. Really, anything in Infernal sounds like your person.
It's true.
Exactly.
And Ryan will switch to Infernal and just simply say you're a lovely person.
You hear the
What
noise
did
in the
you say?
background cease, and then you hear in stuttering Infernal, "Oh, you can understand me."
Oh.
Shit. For
Trying
the
to sound receptive. Your stuttering seems to not be affected by swearing.
Just a minute. She is, of course, still in the back. Like, you're having this conversation, kind of. She hasn't returned yet.
Just
Um,
screaming infernal across the store.
pretty. Which, of course, is terrifying for anybody who doesn't understand Infernal.
But yes, Infernal sounds mean, regardless of what you say.
It does.
Eugen
It's
starts
like
examining something like, I don't know these people.
It's like German. You know, say I love you to people because it is kind and everybody deserves to have love given their way, but say it in German because life is terrifying and should be, you should be afraid of it. Anyway, so they
Does Gillett understand said language?
yep. And he just
Okay.
there's no change in expression on his face. He's just like, "Yep, that's my wife."
Lovely. Is there any recognition on my party's faces while speaking Infernal?
Nope.
Nope.
I want to say Calix
I'm
might
sure
know it.
Calix can speak it, but
If they were here and not
Well,
off
Calix
slinking
was
about.
here. True. No, I'm wrong. Calix wouldn't know Infernal.
Oh, lovely.
Hang on. Let me double check your other party member. Neither does he. You are the only one who speaks Infernal, sir.
Oh, joy. I'm just going to start giving everyone the most horrible sounding compliments. All the time. You look lovely this evening. Why did you say that?
No, not why did you say that. What did you say? Anyway, she comes back out with 4 scrolls rolled up and in her hands. And without really thinking about it, she continues the conversation with you in Infernal. Just for a minute before Gillett taps her on the shoulder and gestures to the rest of the party, and then she remembers and switches back to Common. Right. Here. This is the full list of things that were taken from us. from our
So
store and
were they taken from the store directly or from a caravan or?
well, they managed to see we rent um the upper apartment out. We don't live there. We have a fairly large house just outside the city, and we also run the local orphanage. So we take in any of the stray children that wind up here in the town. I mean, things happen. There's nothing anybody can do, and sometimes just young girls get into bad situations and they don't have a choice, and things just happen. So we are taking care of other children as well as our two own. Um, but we live outside the city, and our lodger was out of town, so nobody was here when the bandits broke in. It was a mixture of taken from our stockyard, our stock warehouse, and the store itself. And I know that we were not the only one hit. The knights
Wow,
were also hit. So
Are there any?
extremely bold bandits.
Were there any? Or are there any protections on your warehouse and the store that these bandits would have had to figure relief?
there weren't, but there are now. We
And
don't
there were no
have this,
witnesses?
not as far as anybody's come forward with.
Out of the
Interesting.
items they took, is there anything we should be concerned about with retreat?
No. But this list, and she hands you a list, and it is specifically named items. Like what you would expect a knight to name his sword or his weapon.
Oh,
Friendship
Uh,
dash so
a pair of daggers labeled thoughts and prayers. Another sword labeled kindness. Um, it's those kind of things, right? But you've also got your typical ones like vanquisher and all that, right? So, uh, these were
I'm
being
sorry, Hugin's literally cracking up right now. Like, I'm sorry, somebody got killed with kindness? Somebody stole kindness?
I would like to bestow upon you some kindness. Bang!
Oh,
Here, my prayers and thoughts go with you.
did you just leave these daggers in their back? Um, uh, well, I try not to judge what people name their weapons, but this is why I do spellcasting. And Gillet behind her just rolls his eyes, and you're realizing now that his hands are wrapped. Not because he's injured them, but they are wrapped in a traditional monk style. And it is clear neither one of these two use weapons, but definitely can defend themselves. I am going to politely ask, for whatever reason, please do not try and fight these two. She is a level 14 Sorlock, and he's 13 straight levels in Monk.
man,
Please don't do it. They will
I
wipe the
mean,
floor with you.
they've shown us no ill will. There's no reason.
Yeah, I know. But I have
You're
seen
okay,
parties
Calix isn't with us.
I have seen parties turn on shopkeepers for less. So
We're just trying
No,
to
no,
keep
no.
moving.
We're here to help these people.
so yes, that is yes, so that list specifically, they're gifts for squires that are supposed to be knighted very soon. They've been brought in from Quo, and they were being stored in our warehouse as the squires do not have access to it. They're not allowed, considering the fact that
Yes.
we don't really have anything to do with the knights. Not their gear, anyway, normally.
Aside from the knights and yourself, who else would have known this should be this time?
Oh, I could not tell you. I mean, the local blacksmiths probably knew, since they were the ones that would have originally put in the order. Our local metalworking guild, and this is of course a different subsection than blacksmithing. They specifically deal in um metal crafting for ornate reasons, as opposed to the practicality of a blacksmith. Um, so they were in charge of making sure that each of these weapons was inscribed properly. Uh, the
Metallurgy
knights,
crafting is a good skill.
it is. Um, uh, you watch as Gillett walks off, and you realize that a group of other civilians has walked in, and he's gone off to deal with them while he leaves his wife to continue giving you guys information.
So, is there any way to magically track these items since you've had direct contact with them?
I wish, but no, unfortunately not.
Hmm,
They're not actually magical weapons. They're just, it's a sentimental value, and because they actually haven't been gifted to the person that they belong to, the connection with a weapon's not there.
I see. Okay.
She leans forward, and Eugen, because you've been kind of cracking up about the whole weapons naming conventions, she just kind of gives you a small little smile, and she asks you a very specific question.
Oh.
Did you know that names have power?
I'd heard a rumor, but I've never seen direct evidence of it.
Names have extreme amounts of power. Giving somebody your true name, as it were, can hold something terrible over top of you. You are literally giving them the power to control you if you are not careful.
Well, that
That
doesn't
goes,
sound fun.
no, it's not. That goes the same for weapons. Eventually, a weapon with a name will possibly take on properties specific to the person who wields it.
Well, that sounds cool.
Ryan looks at their staff and just goes,
Did you
Eugen
just make
immediately doubles over again.
even Callista starts laughing? Um,
Well, I have thought about naming my hammer, but it hasn't proven that effective yet.
I don't have a weapon worthy of a name yet.
but what about that beast that's outside that's been sitting on its haunches since you entered?
Oh, yes, that one certainly has a name. Though I'm a little hesitant to share it now that you've said you might be able to control him with it.
You're the one who's
Well,
laughing
his
over
common
something.
name is probably different.
Or would that be true?
Yes, common names are different. Although in most cases, somebody's true name tends to also be their common name, because most people don't really have more than one. Um,
usually you don't want to give your full name to people who are not sure.
yes. When dealing with your common name, your full name quantifies as a true name.
Gotcha. But yeah, my little pal out there, his first name is Artax.
That's a very beautiful name. Is he
Thank you.
well
Reminds
behaved?
me of my childhood. So far, yes, still training him.
I'm sure you're doing a wonderful job.
The fascinating
Thank you.
creature.
Definitely. He's fun. Loves to play fetch.
I didn't realize a creature like that could.
Teach their own.
All in how you program it.
Well, yes, so that list there, if you happen to find those supplies and can bring them back, it would be, greatly appreciated. Thank you.
All right. Well, if you have
Orion has the list,
any
right?
other
He is the
thoughts on the
holder of
matter,
things.
I was just about to ask that. As the holder of weird, obscure things, do I now have the lists?
Yes, you
Oh,
have the
yes.
4 list.
I'll say if it was handed to anyone else, we just gave it to you. We were like, here.
Oh, I don't know. You guys are all turning into Tony Stark. We don't like being handed things.
And it's 4 scrolls?
Yes. You realize, like, as you're looking through it, it's 4 scrolls because it's 4 scrolls of very detailed notes. So it's an item and then what it looks like. And then that is really specifically for the weapons. Because each weapon has distinct things that were to define it for the squire it was meant for.
So while there is a description, is there also like a drawn image?
For some of them, yes.
Okay.
Ryan looks at these notes, and if he could have tears, he would. I appreciate your vigilance on these.
Thank you. Uh, if you're
anyone would
back,
appreciate.
if you're back this way, you guys should come by the house for tea. I think that you would enjoy seeing and hearing a story. Star Spangled One. Because I don't think you ever gave her your name, Orion.
I did not. Monric simply said hello. I am Monric, and these are my people.
That's okay. She is now going to refer to you as the Star Spangled One.
You can call me Orion.
I think that is less of a mouthful than Star Spangled One. So yes, thank you, Orion.
Especially in other tongues.
Yes, I could not imagine trying to say that in Infernal, mostly because I don't think there's a word in Infernal for spangled.
I think the closest one would be strangled, but it's very different meaning.
Very different.
The Star Strangled one.
There is not a
Seems
word in
fitting.
Draconic for spangled.
If there's anything that you would like while you're here, please don't be afraid to ask. Of course,
I don't
anything you're...
suppose your magics would include scrying ability. Perhaps I
Unfortunately not.
no.
The mystics of the learned arcane are a bit beyond me, and you probably don't want me casting something of that magnitude.
I was just trying to find any help we could get in tracking down these bandits.
No, of course. Things just tend to be strange when I cast magic.
Ah,
As
Do they
a
seem wild?
One might say that it might seem wild.
as a fellow learned caster, what kind of spells draw you to them? Incantations.
sorry. Ask your question again, Otter. My brain just
Sure.
futzed out.
As a newly learned caster myself, what magics do you find draw you to them?
I tend to I tend towards elemental magic.
Elemental. Okay.
Things like fireball or witch bolt. Magic missile is a rather particularly fun one.
I think we'll avoid that. And we can probably be on our way. Does anybody need anything from the store while we're here?
They sell weapons here, right?
Yes. But you and I
Uh,
just need to you and I basically just need to talk about what you wanted from the Clockwork Caravan, and we can do that
Cool.
after session tonight.
Okay.
Because I know that you're looking for something, but that would have been dealt with last week or 2 weeks
Cool.
ago.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Well, we're off to the other shopkeeper who was also affected by this attack. So thank you for your help.
It was my pleasure.
I'll join you guys outside in a second.
Yugen kind of scoots out. He seems a little wary after the shopkeep was talking about wild magic.
Kind of quietly and infernal to the shopkeep
Mm-hmm.
once everyone walks away. Is there a reason to sparkle? Last I knew, that's usually based in illusion.
So
Oh, hold on. You broke up for a second there. One more time?
no, sorry, I was speaking a little bit too quietly for my mic to pick up.
No, you froze for a second.
Oh, did I? Oh, okay. What you get is she looks around very carefully for a moment before you watch as the illusion that is over her disappears just off of her head. You see that she has circular horns that curl around her ears. Her skin is a deep, deep red. Her eyes are definitely not what you would expect regular eyes to look. You know, you're normally it's white with an iris color and then black in the center for the pupil. However, her eyes are silver. So the iris is silver, the backing is black, and her pupil is gold.
Okay.
And her skin, sorry, is the color of a not quite ripe raspberry.
It's a very interesting description, but I like
Yes.
it. Okay.
You said pupil is gold, right?
Yes, the pupil is gold.
Thank you.
And her hair is as silver as her eyes are. It is very clear that this woman is a tiefling.
I had
and-
ideas when they didn't know the language they looked like, but fluently spoke infernal.
Yes. She is very clearly a tiefling. And you see a very beautiful and intricate flower crown that sits kind of hooked underneath her horns so that it sits nicely on her head. And she just reaches up and gently taps the flower crown. We call it a crown of disguise. And then you watch as the elf visage is back. People tend to deal with you a little bit more fairly when you look like an elf, as opposed to when you look like a demon or a devil, depending on the day.
Well, last I knew, tieflings and infernal are very proud of who they are. As should you be. I quite like the other look. It suits you. But I do understand from a business standpoint.
It's not just business. There is fear. Not everybody is kind like you. And some people hate those who are different just because they are different.
Orion gestures at all of them. I understand. But I do not have access to such things, so it is just...
I don't think people will try and beat you up in an alleyway for looking the way you look.
I just...
You'll have to tell me about it over tea sometime.
Not only that, chased out of towns.
I'm sorry that happened to you.
Such is life. The races are fickle, and time doesn't really seem to change it.
It's true. Now, I do maintain my real form at home. The children know what I look like. They're not afraid of me.
I look forward to tea. Well, I'm not one for sustenance, but I look forward to further talks on this.
Best of luck. And I hope you find Narashima. No, hang on, that wasn't right.
No, yeah.
Nashiram.
Nashiram.
She's a good girl. And her uncle loves her very much.
Loves her mama? Sorry, my brain went to song.
Oh my god. No, we are not doing free falling. No!
Oh, I saw the wheels turn there for a second before it clicked.
Yeah, it just took me a second.
No worries.
You should probably catch up to your friends before they get too far.
Indeed. Come, Stick, it's time to leave.
She tilts her head a little bit and it just gives like an aborted little snort. Because you named your quarterstaff Stick.
Yep. It has power. It has power now.
It may, yes. It may have power eventually. Like, I think removing the Onomancy Wizard was a bad choice on the part of the Wizards of the Coast. True naming is a huge thing and definitely should be used more. Anyway.
Well, I will resume.
And you guys
May have
continue.
to name my
Hang
hammer
on for a
Smash.
second. As Orion comes out, Fred's waiting for him. And Fred's like, they just went up there. I didn't want to interrupt you, but I'll catch up with you. And she's going to head back in the store to talk to Callista for a minute.
Okay, we're gonna come back to that in a second because we do need to keep moving forward a little bit.
She just has one request of her.
Okay, what is your request, Mother?
Would you have anything that would stop nightmares?
I might be able to make something if you come back before you leave.
I will. Thank you. She leaves and catches up to Orion.
Orion's outside waiting.
Okay, shall we go catch up with them, Orion? Erase ya.
Sure. And
Oh
the
my
entire town is treated
God.
to the resounding, thunderous sound that is Orion's big ass running down the street.
Oh, the thunderous sound of
What
Orion's
the
ass cheeks
hell
has
is that?
been.
Does someone hear drums? Doosh, 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 doosh.
They are coming.
So, excuse me. You catch up to the party as they are getting ready to enter the Knight's general store.
Cool. Does it have a name?
No.
Okie dokie.
General store. Picture of a shovel.
We go in.
This one is manned by an actual elf. No shimmer, no nothing. This is a grizzled elf who has clearly seen his fair share of combat.
Ryan still greets in Elvish.
Greetings.
He replies in Elvish. Sorry, I have like a host of NPCs and I'm just trying to pick the right one.
So
Why
we
do I have
were.
so many?
I am Monric Black Knight, and these are my companions. We have been brought on to investigate the recent theft from your establishment.
Ah. Well, let me go to fantasy name generator because I apparently don't actually have a male elf prep for this. Oops. Hold on. Please hold. uh, my
Sylvanus.
my name is Durlan, and are you here on behest of the Knight Lieutenant then?
Yes. Yes. She has acquired our services in order to investigate.
Okay. One moment. I think I have a list somewhere here. It's taken too many days to actually compile.
Oh, how
My
long ago
store.
did this happen then?
This happened within the last week or so.
Oh, I thought it was sooner than that,
No,
or more
it's only been in
recently.
the. Unfortunately, not. My. Were you at the civilians general store just now?
Yes. We've been there
Yes.
already.
She's significantly more organized than I am. I've been attempting to get it done, but it's a lot. And then with the arrival of the other knights, I haven't had a moment's rest to organize my books.
I'm sure it's, well, an army out there.
Yes.
So can you tell us anything about what happened? I take it you were as surprised as they were?
Yes, it's strange. Our knights about a week ago, with most of their soldiers, were out on a routine practice. They do this at random so that it's not. You can't schedule when to hit a town because you don't know when they're going to do it. So you can't guarantee that the town's going to be unprotected. and yet they seem to know exactly when the knights left because they attacked that night. So either these are the luckiest bandits in the world, or there's a leak somewhere within the knights. And I'm hoping it's not the latter.
That would be bad, yes. Do you know who would have knowledge of the exercise?
Well, I mean, any of the higher ups, they're squires. You've got your knight lieutenant who has her own squire. You have her. Hold on. Hold on. I actually figured this out once. Gotta find. I had it written down somewhere. Where was it? Oh my god. No! I have it written down somewhere. I actually figured out exactly how many people are in a command of knights.
I feel like you sent that to us at some point long ago.
I also feel like that, but I am also going to just.
If you want, I'll look up on my notes.
Oh, hang on. No, I found it. So, the typical size for an like a division, okay? There are, and this is a sheer amount of people, okay? Like this is so at so per knight lieutenant there are 70 knights split between those in the East Guard puts 7 knights per knight lieutenant. There are 7 sergeants per knight lieutenant. There are 17 companion at arms per knight lieutenant. There is 1 squire per knight, with the exception of Danik, who usually has 2 because he's a knight lieutenant, or he's the knight commander. Soldiers. There are 60 soldiers per 1 knight. There is something close to I figured it out. There are 2,512 fighters in Ys. So there's about 1,000 in this knight's barracks for Yesme. Raymond has 1,000. Alistar has 1,000, if not more. Like, this is a sizable fighting force that is now stationed here. And they knew exactly when Yesme was taking her knights out on routine. And it is near impossible to determine who knew what. Because there is just too many people. Apologies.
And I
I know
take
that
it
was
there
a
were,
lot.
yeah. So I take it there were no protections on your stock either, similar to the
I had
other general
locks,
store?
but they were picked. Nothing magical, just mundane locks, but they were all picked.
Hmm.
You would know the blacksmith, Mr. Lee, correct?
Yes, I know him quite well.
How's he doing with missing his niece? Do you have more information on her? I don't
I
want to
wish-
disturb him because he's probably very worried.
More like he's very busy. He's handling quite a bit on the way of repairs. It's keeping his mind off of it, but he's worried. Anybody would be. After her parents were unfortunately attacked by a manticore some 15 odd years ago, they didn't make it. So she's been raised by him ever since. Um he hands I'm assuming it's going to Orion.
Probably.
He hands you 2 scrolls. All it is 2 lists of items that's been taken from his stuff. It is nowhere near as detailed as Callista's. Nor is it as organized, but it is a list of stuff.
Orion
Do you have any
sighs,
other
looking at
insights?
the notes.
Do you have any other insights on what was taken or how they may have carted it off?
Well, if they carted it off, it was going to be on horses. Probably put into large saddlebags. They may have had a cart. But as far as I know, they set up a couple distractions. We had not only did we have a brawl in the tavern that night, which required a fair amount of the night forces that were left here to protect the city to respond to, but there was a fire set on the opposite side of town. Again, they could have been coincidence, but considering the fact that 2 places got broken into, I don't think so.
Unlikely, yes.
Which means you're looking at a bandit group of maybe upwards of 20 people. To pull off something like that, they'd have to be a larger group.
They would.
Plus, it allows them to take as much as they did. They
Outfit
look like
the
they're
same
outfitting
night?
themselves. Yes, happened the same night. And they look like they're outfitting themselves.
When did Nashirim disappear?
We noticed her gone 4 days ago.
So not the same time that the bandits were here, though, right?
No, we noticed her gone 4 days ago. She could have been gone well before that.
Okay.
And there's no guarantee that it's the bandits that took her. She could have just run off.
Was she not happy here?
Oh no, she was just seeing some boy and her uncle didn't approve.
Oh, I understand that.
Has this boy been questioned?
Not as far as we know. Mostly because he was involved in the brawl. So we don't think he is involved. And by involved in the brawl, I mean he was trying to protect the tavern from being destroyed. He's a good kid. Just some of the town don't approve of his mother.
But if she were running off to be with the boy would have gone missing as well.
Theoretically, yes.
His name.
Well,
Damn it. Damn it. What?
You should know in that one.
I should have known that. Hang on. Hang on.
I don't suppose you'd know where we can find this boy.
His name is Kark.
Okay.
With a P or a K?
Kark. Kark.
thought.
My brain heard carp.
No, Kark.
Okay.
He is not a fish.
What's
We need
what's
to
the
go
problem
find
with his mother?
Oh, some of the people in the town don't like that. Don't like what she is.
And she is?
She's a demon.
Has she done anything wrong then? Why did
No, when you say
it's not right to
demon,
dislike someone just because they're different.
when you say demon, are you referring to those touched by the infernal? The tieflings, I believe you call them? Or
Yes.
truly a demon?
No. Touched. I guess you would call them touched by.
There's a very big distinction there.
They're tieflings. Got no use for that in this town.
You're just as old as the other races. What's the problem?
You mean besides the fact that they're always going on about true naming and all of that other shit? That kind of stuff loses people wars.
Oh boy. History question from Orion.
Yep.
What does Orion know of the wars of the past?
What you know of the wars of the past is only what you have read in the history books. Because they've only detailed back a couple decades.
Well,
Anything beyond that is yeah, but like anything beyond that is classified as mythos.
Mhm.
But you know that for a very long time, both the country of Picity and the country of Thera were under the control of Tianth. So Tianth controlled both of the southern countries before they revolted and took their freedom back. Where Thera managed to get themselves situated with a proper government, set up proper protections, and have prospered, Picity fell into almost a warring clans type area until just in the last 4 or 5 decades. Well, I said 4 or 5 decades, but like the last 2 or 3 decades, they settled into a monarchy. But said monarchy is still decided by who is the strongest. So it's still decided pretty much by trial by combat. Which is how King Anderson Newell has come into power. Because he killed the previous king.
Sure. Orion will look at this man. And I don't know if we'll think on his words for a second here. I'm not sure if any of the races really have right for such hatred based off of what all of you have done through the years. Look at my brain has already lost the 2 towns you just gave me, but Orion remembers, and they can repeat those 2
The Thera is the country, and so is Picity.
Yes. Look at Farah and Picity. That had nothing to do with particular races, but look at all of the chaos that grew. This hatred only breeds more hatred. Historically, that hasn't done well for people.
Can the party give me a perception check, please? Wow, Eugen sees all.
Fred's pissed off. She sees nothing.
Otter?
Pretty good.
Oh, stay in the tree, die. Perception. Oh, still on the character sheet. 12.
Okay. Monarch and Eugen. You've noticed something, like, He's very clearly sitting, but then you notice that he's sitting much lower than he should be. And you watch as he reaches down and actually wheels himself out from behind the counter.
Hmm.
So would you like to tell me again how a demon spawn, which is the one that did this to me, is somehow deserving of my forgiveness?
Was it her,
The-
though?
Let me
Doesn't matter if it
clarify.
was her.
So, let's say a human hurt someone in another town. Does that then mean you need to hate all?
They didn't do anything to me, so no.
So, you're saying a personal travesty, which I'm sorry you went through, is enough to bring about your hate of the entire group.
If you can't control the demon that you summon, then maybe you shouldn't summon it.
Sounds like a problem with the person who summoned it and not a poor woman in town who happens to share a love interest.
For the record, you can talk this man in circles. He's not going to change.
Oh, that's fine.
This is an argument in futility because he is going to be adamant to be against the tieflings. Just so you're aware.
Oh, I know. Orion is just taking personal offense.
That's Fred.
Even Monarch doesn't approve.
I mean, to be fair, none of you should approve. This man's racist.
Well, best of luck, and if we find your stuff, we'll return it. Fred's gonna leave the room.
You want to give me a deception check on that, Mom? Because he may not fucking believe you.
20.
Okay. You somehow managed to keep the absolute disgust out of your voice. But it's a close thing. And he kind of narrows his eyes at you, but doesn't say anything.
Well, if you have any other insights into what happened, please let us know. I think we'll be on our way.
Best of luck. And then he wheels himself back behind his counter.
Aside from your obvious biases, are there any items on this list that we should be concerned about?
Unless the bandits are going to be dumb enough to try and open it, there's a locked box that got stolen.
And
It
they did.
Well, wherever there are is going to be a huge charred mess. The box is red, so maybe don't open it if you find it.
Good advice.
You notice that seems to be the only item that has an actual description, Otter, that you're recalling from that list.
Sure.
Is there any crossover from the list we got from the not elf?
No, there isn't. I mean, besides the fact that it looks like they were collecting weapons and like munitions and rations, like they're outfitting themselves to launch an attack on somebody, kind of deal.
Okay.
I have a feeling if Calix was here, we would find this poor man dead in the
A
morning.
good chance. The rest of us are just like, he's not fun.
And we may not leave, end of session may not leave the town, and Calix might be back next week.
Well, as we leave, Orion will say it was nice to meet you in Inferno. And as they walk out the door, I would like to reach up and tap the top of the doorframe leaving his store and cast prestidigitation and leave a mark that just says racist in Infernal and leave.
Oh, in Infernal.
Fantastic.
Walking out behind you, just what did that say?
It is what he is. A racist.
Ah, see, I was thinking asshole. Alright.
He's welcome to interpret it however he will. I make sure to hit the top of the doorframe with enough force that they would hear me doing so to see the mark is on.
Well, and
Okay.
obviously he can't reach it.
That's a low blow.
Ah. All right, you guys have one last place to check out. Well, two places.
Across the street.
Well, from here, the next closest place I believe was the Smith.
Yes.
Fred's just pacing outside. She is just furious, and it's a lot to get her pissed off. She's usually pretty accepting of everybody. That man, he's just. I feel sorry for what happened to him, but that doesn't mean he can be, just treat everybody that way. What if it had been, a Tandrak like me that had done something to him? Would all been bad? If we did that, we'd be fighting all the time. It's just so wrong.
Well,
Fortunately, there are not that many people like him, hopefully.
Yeah, his filtered view of the world is just shitty. There's no need for that.
through history, that mindset has brought bad things.
It does.
We don't have to be like him.
People like him are the reason I left my hometown. I mean, he did give us some information. We've got the young boy, Kark, who was. Maybe he'll have some information of where she might be.
Well, we will definitely have to check on him. Yes.
I can say it doesn't seem he has the same characters as the other story. Just look at these notes, and Ryan will roll out one of the scrolls from the first store and one from the second store. He keeps
Just seem a bit lackluster.
he keeps no actual notes on the items other than this is a sword.
Yeah. I mean, how's he going to even show us that it's even his? Maybe, maybe he was involved with them. Maybe he's the one who let them know what was going on. He doesn't seem to really care. I think the Knight Lieutenant should be told. I mean, he's the one who's taking care of their equipment. I wouldn't trust him.
I mean, at this point,
I'm sure if
look
they're
of
from
it,
around here, they've met him and know.
at this point, all we really have against him is he's quite biased in his views of people, but nothing warranting raising to the proper authority.
Okay, I'm just so angry.
It's okay. You're welcome to be angry.
And
He's
rightfully
somebody to be angry at.
And mark above his door will stay there for the next time.
Too bad you couldn't make it permanent. What did you put on the? I'm sorry, you put something on the doorway?
I'm sure all of you would have heard me hit the door, but when I walked out, I slapped my hand on the top of the door frame.
I saw that. I was standing here. What did you do?
Ryan will take out their notebook hand on it and recast prestidigitation and leave a mark on a piece of paper. And it'll say the same thing. It's infernal.
That's a pretty nasty looking script.
What
I'll tell you.
does that say?
It says racist.
I shouldn't take pleasure in that, but that's perfect, Orion.
And will put their hand on the page and the text or the symbol.
So after we talk to the blacksmith and we find Kark, we should probably find a place to stay before we head out tonight, right? It's taken us most of the day.
We're spending the night here. Yes.
Yeah,
I'm
probably.
Probably.
Probably be our best bet.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is something I definitely want to do if we stay here the night. I totally forgot that I have an ability, the magical tinkering, which I have not utilized at all so far this game. Totally gonna make his doorknob permanently smell like a skunk.
You should have done that on the handle as you walked out of the store.
Well, it takes me a second to do. I have to have tools in hand for it. I can pass by at night with the tools in hand and just go tink and be done.
I wonder what happened to Maddie.
Ran to the bathroom. She said, continue our games.
Okay.
It's too bad you didn't have the doorknob just say racist every time it's touched.
I can actually do that, but then I figured it would be calling every person that touches it racist, and that's not what we're going for. We want them to know that he's a racist. Although it can be 6 seconds long, roughly, so we could be like, the owner is a racist every time somebody touches the knob.
Interesting. What else can you do with this magical tinkering?
Well, I can make things shine like a bright light. It gives, a few feet of dim light, or, bright light 5 feet, dim light 5 feet. It can emit message that can be heard up to 10 feet away whenever it is tapped by another creature. It can continuously emit my choice of an odor or non-verbal sound. The chosen phenomenon is perceivable up to 10 feet away. Or a static visual effect appears on one of the object's surfaces. The effect can be a picture, up to 25 words of text, lines and shapes, or a mixture of these elements as I like. So technically, I could have a visage of him with the word racist in another language appear on the door.
We're still on that? Fantastic.
We have circled it around a little bit.
Okay.
Yeah, we came back.
Clarification question for you: what color was the dove? Was it just like a dark wood, light wood,
Yeah, it's just dark wood.
metal? It is in a vibrant white.
Wow. All right. Okay. You're heading to the blacksmiths. We're gonna walk away from the race.
Yeah. No, you told us to keep our being, so we just kind of kept going.
You did great. I'm so proud of you guys.
We're ready to go to the blacksmith.
Yes. Yes. So when you enter, it is to the familiar sounds of industry. And there are 7 smiths in this blacksmithery. Now, this one has a name, and it says Lee's Fine Works, with an anvil and a hammer.
Eugen looks around and just has this kid in a toy store look on his face.
It's a beautiful sound, isn't it?
It's a beautiful sight.
I'm just gonna look at the two of you and let you go first.
Yeah, Fred doesn't want to get near the heat.
Fair enough.
I'll
It's
follow
a
in,
treat. Free
but
burns.
you guys seem to know what you're doing here, so you guys can lead this.
Is the master at his forge?
Give me a perception check, sir.
And I would recognize a master at a master's forge typically, being as my father was one.
Okay. Yeah, you're able to identify the master at his forge. And he's working closer to the front. And it's clear that what he's working on is sharpening weapons.
I'll
Um,
approach.
so he's got a he's sitting at a sharpening wheel with oil. And it's one of those that you just keep pressing down with your foot to get it to go.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Like not like a standard sewing machine that we would know, but like one of those old ones where you have to keep pressing your foot
Yeah.
down to get it to spin.
Yeah, more like a foot pump than a pedal.
Yes.
I will bow respectfully to him. Master Lee, greetings.
I'm sorry. Do I know you?
No, although you probably know of my father, but I am Monric Black Knight. Me and my companions are adventurers in the service of Knight Lieutenant Yeast, and have been uh, tasked with recovering your lost niece.
Ah, so you are looking for um you are looking for my Nashiram then.
Yes. And we were wondering if you had any thoughts or uh, advice on what might have happened or where she may have gone if there was a simple disagreement.
No. She did not report into work. Um she usually runs the front end of the store for me.
I
But
see.
I had given her the day off, and I thought perhaps she might have just been late getting back. I am not opposed to her infatuation with the please hold. I need to go look up Gillet's last name. Because it's listed. Just give me a second. I have no quarrel with the Arnu boy. He's a good man. Trapper. So he's off scouting and hunting game more often than not. Takes after his father that way. But others of the town have seen it as improper. And so they have taken to shaming her for who she loves.
I see. That's a little different than the story we were told. That's good information to have. Would you know the current whereabouts of Karp, the boy?
Yes, actually. One moment. And he stands up and goes to the back. Which is when you realize that one of the 7 blacksmiths is a half orc. with tiefling horns.
Half orc, half
Aha.
tiefling.
He is a half orc, half tiefling. In places, his skin is that not quite ripe raspberry, and in others, it is a deep, deep green.
Interesting combination.
Have you ever seen, like, there are some people of color whose the melatonin in their skin isn't consistent.
Mhm.
So some places wind up being super pale in comparison to the other sections of their skin. That's basically what's going on with him. But considering the fact that his parents were two different colors, that's what he gets.
Does Ryan put 2 and 2 together, looking at this person?
Yes. This is clearly one of Callista and Gillet's kids.
Okay.
Kark comes forward to greet you as he stands with Mr. Lee.
Well, nice to meet you, Kark. So, I was just wondering if you could tell us what you know of what is it again? Not Nesherie.
Nesharim? You're so close.
Nesharim?
Nesharim.
Nesharim.
Nesherim.
Oh, Nesharim
Yes.
Lee. Right, yeah. Unfortunately.
Since you would, at least according to other people, be the main reason she would be missing.
Yes. She had said she was going into the woods to gather something. It's one of my family's traditions that the female in the relationship will build a crown of nature of some kind and gift it to their partner. I had already made and gifted hers. It was a beautiful piece of metal work that her uncle was kind enough to help me make. She wears it as a necklace. It's a you would call it a collar, but it's just the shape. It hangs a little bit down and it has some fine ornamentation. We were due to be married. I had asked his permission, he has granted it. I just needed her to say yes, and I was waiting until she had gifted me her crown of nature. I saw her later that night. She had been unsuccessful in gathering what she wanted, but said she was going back out the next day. That was the last I saw of her, and I've scoured the forests and have been
And
unable
that
to
was
find her.
4 days ago?
5 now, but yes.
Okay.
I thought she might come home on her own, but she hasn't. So when I told Mr. Lee, then we reported to the Knights that she was missing.
Okay. And the night you were involved in the brawl, how long ago was that?
6 days ago. Yes. Because it would have been the night that everything went missing.
Yes, exactly. And was there anything peculiar about the brawl?
Only that it started over something incredibly ridiculous. I would almost think that it was two men fighting over the same woman, except there seemed to be no women in sight. And I mean, I don't presume to judge. I mean, maybe they were fighting over another man, but it didn't seem to matter. And then as soon as the brawl started and it expanded out to others, we lost sight of them. They seemed to start the fight and disappear.
I see. Okay.
I tried to part-time work at the local tavern. Just I mean, I might as well use these muscles for something other
Oh, of
than just
course, of
dragging.
course.
I mean, he is
No,
like
exactly.
he's not small. Like he's lithe, but there is toned muscle all over him. Like he is an amalgamation of Callista and Gillet. Although Orion, you know that she is an amalgamation of Callista and Gillet. The rest of you have no idea. You think maybe he might be related to Gillet because their skin is the same color, like same tone, but you guys only saw the elf, so and her skin was not that near, not quite right raspberry color.
Hmm. All right. So the disappearance was a day after, a full day after everything went missing.
Yes.
So, but she was in an area of the forest where the knights then later searched thoroughly in trying to follow the bandits. Is that correct?
Yes,
And you, of course, searched as well.
I did.
Hmm. So either they lingered, which seems unlikely, or the events are unrelated.
Or she stumbled upon them.
It's possible, but I would wager they had moved far beyond to be well out of reach of the knights. But it is possible. I don't suppose you would be willing to track for us as we search out these bandits, would you?
Did the knight lieutenant task you with another thing, or are you just dealing with the bandits?
There's also a temple that we've been tasked with, but
If you're going after the bandits, I would be more than happy to. I will not go anywhere near that temple.
is the temple anywhere near
No, it's in the
where?
opposite direction. The temple is in a large clearing. And it's been recently overrun by the strangest fog. I just stay away from it. It's safer. Especially since I'm usually alone.
Indeed. Well, we would not ask you to approach the temple. That is fine. It would be useful to us to have someone familiar with these woods as a guide in searching out the bandits. You would not be required to stay with us for any of the fighting or anything of that nature, but having a guide would be helpful.
When you're ready to go after the bandits, let me know. I will come track for you.
Our plan at this point is to do it in the morning, to leave in
Very
the
well.
morning. Are there any objections from anyone?
Sounds good.
Does anyone have any other questions, things I might have missed here?
I'm just kind of curious what their different specialties are. If there's 7 of them working in here, they must specialize in.
Actually, it seems like it isn't a specialty thing. It seems as though they've been hired because of the sheer influx of people.
Gotcha. So
With
it's a
the
quantity over quality thing.
well, there's still a quality standard that's gonna come out of this smithy, but he needed to hire more. Well, he basically had people that he would have had on part time that he has now hired on full time to keep up with the work.
Gotcha.
If that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm just being nosy and looking at how their different mechanisms work, examining their pump wheel, stuff like
Of course.
that.
Yeah. There seems to be one other person who's working on sharpening the weapons, and you're realizing that this is more of an assembly line. So you've got a group that are pounding it into rough shapes, you've got a group that's pounding it into like the bevels that it needs for the weapon that they're making, you've got another couple that are dealing with just sharpening. And it seems that Mr. Lee was working on repairs alone. Kark had been in the back repairing his arrows, as he has a very large quiver of them on his hip.
Shall we pick you up in the morning from here, or is there a better place to meet you?
I'll meet you at the tavern, which
All
also
right.
doubles as an inn, so that'll probably be where you wind up staying in the night.
Likely, unless they allow us to stay in the barracks.
I highly doubt that. They don't have any room.
That would be my thought.
There do seem to be a lot of them here.
Ever
I must-
since Park has walked up, Ryan is sitting there with his book, just doing a sketch of Gillett and Callista, as I've seen, and then Park on the bottom, trying to like piece together if this is actually what I'm seeing.
You do come to the determination that yes, this is what you're seeing. This is absolutely one of the 2 children that Callista said that her and Gillett had.
Ryan's been listening, but they are lost in processing right now, and they're just kind of sketching.
What? Do you guys have an image of Neshiram so that we know when we find her?
Well, you'll know. She's the only one who wears the necklace that I described. And
Unless
she
it's
wouldn't
been-
take it off.
But in case someone else did, what does she look like?
If you give us a description, we'll draw it. And flip to another page.
Sorry, Maddie.
My dear, if somebody has taken that off of her, she's dead.
Don't say that.
No, I mean that's literally what would happen. I have the key to take it off. And he holds it up like this is it's not an ownership thing. It is she would have her nature crown would have the same thing and she would hold the key to that. Cuz it would get hooked around his horns and wouldn't be able to be taken off unless it was unlocked.
Or unless they break the horns.
Yeah, but again, people are dead when they're doing that.
Okay.
But she is a very, very beautiful elf.
Okay.
I would give you a description, but it would take all day. And now, I don't think you have all day. You can tell he really loves her. However, Mr. Lee, on the other hand, pulls out a tiny locket, and there is a sketched photo of Neshrem in it, and he hands it to Orion so that he can copy it
I was just about to
into
say,
his
I'm
notebook.
not taking your locket. I would copy it as convert.
Yeah. Hang on, let me see. I know I have a photo for her. Hold on. I just need to remind myself what it is. Where is this? This is one of the very first maps I ever made. I need to remake this map. Oh, look at that. It's an older version of Fred.
Is that like the third one?
Well, when I did this campaign, I just copied the old one, which copies all of the maps, including everything that's on the maps. Which means everybody's old character tokens.
Ah,
I do not have her token up anymore. It just doesn't exist, apparently. Alright. Well, shit. I will get you guys a description of what she looks like later.
But for purposes now, Orion has essentially.
Yes.
Will your family be okay with you running towards his hands? If it is that
Oh, father wouldn't be surprised. And, well, mother... Father would be hard-pressed to keep mother from following. So we're not going to tell them.
Sounds fair.
sounds like we've seen.
Yes. Actually, here. This is perfect. This is, Neshurum.
Okay.
She
I'm gonna
has,
talk to the barracks.
a set of piercing blue-gray eyes, prominent cheekbones, but she doesn't look sickly. Dark hair that seems to be pulled back. This is drawn without the necklace, but he has given such a good description of the necklace, you would be able to identify her.
Did we get connections to him, or just places we were supposed to look into?
The places you were going to look into, however, as you're approaching the barracks to go to the medical bay, you find the tavern. It's literally just right outside of the barracks.
Perfect.
All that's left is to ask those of the actors. We should be good for the day unless we want to check out this eerie temple. What time of the day is it?
You're approaching mid-afternoon.
oh, we
Oh,
definitely have
we
time.
might be able to. But first, the medical bay.
To the med bay. So you guys head to the med bay. You're allowed in as there was notification from the night lieutenant to their squire, which then told the guards at the barracks to allow you entry.
Well,
As
that's
you're walking through, being led by said squire, who is also a dragonborn with blue scales. Sorry, I just mentioned something important, so I'm just gonna copy that down.
Scales.
Yeah, the squire.
Just curious, above game question.
Mm-hmm.
From way back in the campaign, when Orion was first, quoting the squire they heard, does that fella still have a job?
I don't know.
Okay.
Okay. So you are led to the medical bay. The
How many soldiers are here?
There are 6 soldiers.
Like running the place, or there because they needed medical assistance?
No, it's 6 soldiers that are affected by whatever it is that's going on.
Gotcha.
Greetings, gentlemen.
You are greeted by a we're gonna call him a medic. He is dressed sort of like a soldier of some kind. But the vast majority of his clothing seems to be white. And there is a dark red cross on his shoulder that would then signify him as a medic. Um, I am Karsten. I am in charge of the medical facility here.
Greetings, Carson. My name is Monric Blackknight, and these are my companions. We've been tasked with investigating the temple where these soldiers fell ill, and was wondering what they could tell us.
Well, I'm not sure. They've been a little bit it's hard for them to focus, if that I wish I could describe it. It's not it is beyond my capabilities to fix it.
So they're affected by some sort of psychic effect that is preventing them from functioning normally.
Something along those lines, but it seems that there's more to it. When they sleep with their eyes wide open, but they're not conscious.
Well, that's just horrifying.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is. And it gets worse.
Have they been able to describe what's going on to you, or are they just like in such a state that they can't?
They say something about flying horrors, and then they're talking about some form of they said squid, but they also said that this squid was apparently attached to a humanoid body, and
No. Sorry,
then
that's Rebecca.
Yeah, I know.
I know what I just described.
This isn't good.
Very much not good.
Now, please also understand, I would not throw that at you at level 4.
No, she'll wait till we hit 5.
Damn right I will. No, I'm kidding. But then they say that it didn't actually have tentacles. They just thought it had tentacles, and that it seems to just be a very pale thing that chased them through the temple. None of it makes any sense to me.
And no one was injured at the temple, right? They were chased off and simply had this whatever effect.
Oh no, there was 10 of them that didn't come home. These are the only ones who made it back.
Okay, so that there were losses. Okay. Well, that's good to know.
No, that's horrible.
Well, yes, it is horrible.
It's to know that it's not just their mindset they're damaging, it's that we've lost bodies, people. So
Have
we have
they
to be on our
told
guard.
you? how the others were lost?
They said something swooped in. They described it like a swarm of bats that turned into a human, grabbed one of them, and then disappeared again. And that doesn't make any sense. There's no human that can turn into a swarm of bats.
Does that make any sense?
Not to Orion.
Can I do like an Arcana check on that?
Yes, you can. Man, it's too bad Calyx is in here.
That's what I was. Does this sound like a magical thing?
Sounds like a vampire, but I wouldn't know that.
Exactly, right? You're like, oh, it sounds like
no,
stories from my childhood.
No, you guys are aware of vampires and damphirs. Orion isn't, because this is relatively new and was after his time.
Okay, so even with the role I just got, I'd still be sitting here going, "Oh, that reminds me of a
It's at the
story."
tip of your tongue, but you
A
can't.
story that I was told as a kid. Is something, one of those things you tell kids about things that go bump in the night. It started with like
Well,
one of
they
those prayer
mentioned
letters,
vampires, and that sounds like it could be a vampire.
Could I do an Arcana check?
Absolutely.
Ooh, not much better. 11.
How about a history check?
A history check would also work.
Get worse in history.
16 history.
Okay.
Not even gonna try because I'm not doing that.
History is fortunately one of the things I have some ability in.
I have a
Not
+5 in history and Arcana, and I still only got an 8 in the Arcana.
Okay. You are pretty sure that what you're dealing with might be a small band of vampires of some kind.
Small
But
band.
it still doesn't make any sense, because they were really adamant about flying horrors with too many limbs, not enough eyes, and muscles in places where they shouldn't have muscles.
So flying vampires with illusion skills?
Maybe.
Ooh. I quickly cast minor illusion and give myself extra muscles. Like this?
They tell you no.
Oh.
Hang on, I need to actually pull up the image. If D&D Beyond is going to be nice enough to give me one.
Make the illusion make it just look like my muscles deflate as I go, oh.
Okay, so what they describe is a thing that seems to have insect legs, but has like giant ass bat ears and giant bat wings, but it's got way too many legs to be a bat, and it's way too big to be a bat, and it looks like a crossed hybrid of an insect and a bat, and they're just really kind of hung up on the idea that it is just terrifying. 'Cause it is.
Would that be an in-bat or a bat sect?
This is what they describe to you. That is what they describe to you, and I'm not telling you what it is.
Oh, shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so do I.
That
but
thing is
Yugen hasn't a
horrifying.
clue.
Where'd you put
Yeah,
it,
it
Maddie?
is.
I sent it through D&D Beyond. Yes,
through
through D&D
Roll20.
Beyond into Roll20.
Oh, there it is. Sorry.
No, it's okay.
It looks frightening. I have no idea what it is.
Jesus Christ.
I want one as a pet.
No!
No,
Calyx
you do
will.
not. That I
Val
believe.
got a raptor. I want a weird bat insect.
On a weird bat insect.
Your owl will eat it.
I'll call them smooches.
I think it's too big for the owl to eat.
I won't call him Smoochum.
I'm not gonna do that though, because that's a pet name from Tuesday's game. questions. I'll think of something easy.
Oh my
Maybe
god. Alright.
waffles.
You are unable to actually talk to these guys. What you're hearing, it's from like what they're saying. Like, cause they're just gibbering and unable to form coherent sentences. So what you're getting is this description after listening to them for 15 minutes. And of course, gleaning any information from whatever Karsten's willing to give you, which he's willing to give you a lot because he would like to get these men cured and get them back out on the battlefield.
Well, shall we go look at the temple?
Observing these soldiers, do they seem to be under any kind of magical influence?
They do not. They seem like their mind has just been broken.
Oof. You know what? I'm gonna cast heroism on one of them and see if they can be more coherent and back to the type of self that they used to be.
It seems to work for a grand total of 30 seconds, which is not long enough to get you any information before he goes right back to being afraid.
Yeah.
That is how badly they've been broken. There may not be a fix for these 6.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just their brains are done.
Well, if this temple is as much as a hazard as we heard here, do we want to wait until kitchen stuff in the army challenge shows back up before we wander in there?
Definitely.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
You're thinking you're going to want the full party for either of those objectives.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
More,
Fully
we're
agree.
investigating still, but investigating in the town isn't looking like a hazard. But apparently looking into the temple past where we are now is. We should probably have the whole group together to go meet smoochers. So, what's the plan for you folks?
Well, once it's dark, I definitely want to make a pit stop at that one asshole guy. But aside from that, yeah, I'm just up for a good night's rest.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else we can do at the moment.
Okay. As you head towards the tavern, that is where we're going to call it for the night because there is something that's going to happen at the tavern.
Don't do it.
That being said, of course, we always like to thank our sponsors, D&D Beyond. That is D, the letter N, dbeyond.com. And of course, we always like to thank anybody who is sticking around with us in chat. I hope you guys had fun. I hope this was fascinating and interesting to listen to. And of course, as always, we'd like to remind you we are in the middle of a pandemic, so wear your mask, wash your hands, make sure you practice social distancing, be good to one another, and remember, roar for initiative. Have a good night, everybody.
Right.